Most hobbies leave you with nothing but time spent. Game development leaves you with something real that you can actually show off. In 2026, it's stupidly accessible, but if you start the wrong way, you'll just end up wasting time here as well. Before I show you why you should actually start game development, let's first understand what game development actually is, because it's not what you think. In short, game development is just an interactive experience. And the beautiful thing with game development is that you can make this interactive experience whatever you want to be, and it's so creative. Instead of just making art, for example, or you make like software, you can actually make a whole world here. You can make an entire universe, you can make these characters, you can make these mechanics, you can make an entire new universe. And for us, since game development is so many different fields, we're basically making an entire universe here instead of just one thing. And the beautiful thing is, for us, this means that we can focus on the thing that we actually want to focus on. So let's say you're more like me, you're a very logical person. Even though game development is so creative, you can be creative through logic. But on the opposite side, let's say you don't enjoy logic that much and you instead enjoy art or music or other aspects of game development, like project management, then you can focus on being creative and like doing and learning these things. You don't need to be a master programmer to make a game. You can make a game that's very art or music focused, and you can still make an awesome experience around that. But either way, you will need a foundational knowledge of code. But the thing is that in 2026, we have so many user-friendly tools that we can use. For example, like only like 10-20 years ago, you would need to write every single thing about the game in code. Like you would need to write the entire like physics engine and like all these different things yourself. But now we have softwares that we can use. So basically 90% of the code 20 years ago that you would have to write just to get like the basics and foundations going, we have these softwares that we can use today called game engines, which handles all these like complicated things for us. The only thing we need to focus on is to tell the game engine what should happen inside the game. So it's not like you need to reinvent like physics, you need to reinvent how collisions work, you need to reinvent how like graphics are rendered. The game engine already has that integrated and it's very user-friendly as well. And also with these user-friendly softwares, we also have tons of free assets. So as I said before, if you are like me, you're more logical, then you can simply download assets like art or music online. And there's a lot of copyright-free assets that you can use completely for free as well. And not even to mention the help that you can actually get from AI. AI is super useful when you're making games, but there's so many people that do so many things wrong with using AI and learning the foundations that they actually don't end up making anything and they just end up wasting time. But that's something we can talk about a little later. I just want to say, like to summarize this point, that you don't need to be a master giga nerd programmer to make your first game. You can focus on the aspects that you want to enjoy, and that's what game development is, because game development, it's so many different fields in one. What you need right now is not to put on your glasses and become like a giga nerd programmer. What you need is just one simple goal and a process. And the process that we need is just to focus on finishing our first game. Finishing your first game should be your #1 priority right now if you are a beginner. So let me tell you why game development is so awesome and why finishing your first game should be priority to give you opportunities. Because after you finish your first game, your identity is going to change. It's going to change from being a consumer, someone that just plays games, you're a gamer, you don't create anything, you just consume, to actually being a creator. You know how games are made, you know how games are structured, you know the development process, and you can actually make them yourself. It's literally like a perfect example where you go from a consumer to a creator. Like for me, for example, it was only after I finished my first game that I actually had this identity change in myself, where I just went from this consumer that just plays games, sure, I enjoy them, I'm playing them like my entire childhood, to now where I can enjoy games, but I also know how they're made and I can also make them myself. I went from being a gamer to a game developer. And now I even enjoy making games more than I do playing them. Because you can literally create the games that you enjoy making. And making your dream game is so much fun. I promise you, if you enjoy making games right now, you're going to enjoy creating them 10 times more. In the start, this can just be a fun hobby for you where you can work at your own pace. It can be something that you work on in the mornings, your free days, or after school or work, for example. And it just allows you to be creative as well as you're learning so many new things, and it's actually going to be productive. And this is not like where you're writing essays. It's not going to be like super boring. You're literally creating worlds, creating characters, and you're creating, like you're doing a craft, you're practicing a craft. So now we cover what game development actually is and why it's so awesome. But before we cover all the opportunities that you can actually gain from this hobby, I just want to quickly mention the fastest way to actually release your first game, and that's going to be my paid program called Smart Indie. Smart Indie gives you a step-by-step guide to finish and release your first game in only 60 days. This is something that 99% of other beginner game developers never achieve, because they never have a clear goal and a clear path to release. I literally take it from I don't know what to do, I don't know what to start, I can nothing about code, to literally being a game developer and finishing your first game. I'm even so confident that you will 100% release within 60 days that I also have a guarantee that if you don't release within 60 days, I'll personally coach you for free, which I don't think will happen because I know you will release. If you just want to learn more, check it out. It's the first link in the description, or you can visit smartindie.dev. Okay, so now we talked about what game development actually is, so you have a thorough understanding about what it requires, as well as why game development is so fun, it's so creative, and it's awesome. But we haven't even covered the best part yet, which is the opportunities that you can get from this hobby. Let me just say, if you finish this one thing that I talked about, just finishing one simple game, doesn't even need to be big, one small game, you get so many opportunities. First of all, it's the start of a portfolio of finished games. You actually have something to show, not only to your friends, but your family and employers. And the thing is, if this game actually is a good idea, doesn't need to be like awesomely executed, just the idea needs to be good, then you can monetize it and actually earn real money from it. And I'm not going to like promise you, okay, just make one game and then you're going to be a millionaire. But there is actually a very good chance that the game might blow up if the idea is good. And as I said a little before, you can show it to employers so you get job opportunities. You can even do consulting jobs like freelance, for example. You can actually be hired to fix problems for people and consult them within game development. And here you can even focus on the thing that we talked about before, the field that you like the most. So for example, you can consult people in like art, make art for them, and get paid as a freelancer, have your own little business. Or you can go down the path, which is my favorite, where you teach other people how to start game development, or you do like a specific niche within game development, because game development and social media is so huge, you have no idea. You can literally search for a begin game development video, and it's going to have like so many million views. Like I think there was one that even has like 5 million views. It's insane. As well as it's going to give you credibility for collaborations in the future. So you can join a small indie team, for example. And this is something that I personally have experience in, like collaborations and stuff like that. And I promise, when you just have a few, like even one finished game under your belt, it increases your credibility by 100x, even if the game is bad. Just releasing something to a platform just is a huge credibility boost compared to just making small systems and never actually finishing something. And we talked a little about this monetization. Let me just elaborate on that. There are games that are literally super simple. For example, Iron Lung. There's literally one mechanic. The idea is good. It's made in like a few weeks by like this developer was quite experienced, but a beginner can make the game as well, which have made hundreds of thousands of dollars, even 1 million. Iron Lung, which is a really simple game. I'll have some gameplay footage on the screen right now. It's a very, very simple game. And it made 1.3 million, like estimated. Not even to mention like Flappy Bird, which is so simple, like it's so stupidly simple, it's almost cringe how simple the game is and how much money it made. It made 50k at its peak before it was deleted and all these things. For the like weird developer that can handle the success and the hate speech, or maybe he's not weird, he probably got a lot of hate. But you don't need to delete your game if you hit like 50k a day. Just imagine that, 50k, multiply that by a month. Okay, that's a lot of money. Let's just say it's like 1.5 million. It's a lot. And the last example I give you from just a very simple game that's not based on art. It's just very simple squares and shapes, but it has a really good story, sound design, and logic, which is like the same as me. I don't really enjoy art, but I enjoy all these other things. Was Thomas Was Alone. It's a Steam game, and it made, we don't have the exact number, but millions of dollars. Now I just need to clarify a few things. A lot of beginners, they watch this video and they get fired up. And then they do the most dangerous thing they could possibly do. They start learning game development by watching random tutorials forever. It feels productive, but then months go by, 10 years, and you haven't even released a single game. And that trap even has a name. It's called tutorial hell. And that's exactly why I made Smart Indie. Inside, you don't wonder what you're going to do next. You'll follow a clear beginner-friendly plan that tells you exactly what to do each day. So you can actually build, actually finish, and release your first game in only 60 days. So if you're serious about becoming a creator instead of staying a consumer, click the first link below and join Smart Indie. I hope I convinced you to start game development. It's an awesome journey if you do it the right way. And thank you so much for watching.